Honorable members of the committee, I see a quorum. Pursuant to Standing Order 106.3.8, as the clerk of the committee, I will preside over the election of the chair and the vice chairs. I must inform members that the clerk of the committee can only receive motions for the election of the chair, and also the clerk cannot receive any other types of motions, cannot entertain points of order, nor participate in debate. We can now proceed to the election of chair. Pursuant to Standing Order 106.2, the chair must be a member of the government party. Je suis prêt à recevoir des motions pour la présidence. Mr. Maloney.
I'm ready to receive motions.
I would like to nominate for the position of chair the Honorable Mark Miller. I'll just say a little bit about Mr. Miller. I've been working with him since we were both elected in 2015. He's thoughtful, he's compassionate, he's patient, all qualities that stand in high regard as a committee chair, and I think he has a strong legal background, and everything I've seen him do in the 10 years I've served with him, he's done with class, and he's done it in a very professional manner, and I think he would serve as excellent chair for the Justice Committee in this session. So I nominate the Honorable Mark Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. Are there any other motions? Seeing none, it has been moved by Mr. Maloney that Mr. Miller be chair of the committee. Is it the pleasure of the committee to adopt the motion? Yes. I see it's unanimous. Thank you. I declare the motion carried, and the Honorable Mark Miller elected chair of the committee. Mr. Miller. Comme je vous disais.
Bonjour à tous et à toutes.
Good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Justice Committee. Thank you for this support.
Almost entirely accurate in your description of who I am. Before we continue, there's some new people here. I'd ask that all in-person participants consult the written guidelines on the table that you've probably most likely seen them. The measures are there to help our translators in particular not get feedback and do damage in their workplace environment, notably by causing audio feedback. So I guess when you're there, take like a finger's distance from the mic like this, and then the slamming of the earpieces, whether there's outrage, feigned or otherwise. Just obviously there's people whose job depends on their ability to translate and hear us properly. So let's just think of them when we have our back and forth, which will be sure to happen. You'll notice the QR code on the card, which links to a short awareness video, if that wasn't clear enough. Et donc sur ça, si le comité est bien d'accord,
And if the committee agrees now, I'd like to invite the clerk to proceed to the very important election of the vice chairs. Thank you, Chair. Pursuant to Standing Order 106.2, the first vice chair must be a member of the official opposition.
Prepared to receive motions for the first vice chair. Yes.
I nominate MP Larry Brock.
Thank you. Are there any further motions? I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, are we doing both vice chairs or one at a time?
One after the other.
Okay, fine, sorry.
Thank you. So, seeing no other motions, it has been moved by Mr. Baber that Mr. Brock be elected as first vice chair of the committee. Is it the pleasure of the committee to adopt the motion? I declare the motion carried, and Mr. Brock as first vice chair. Welcome.
Can I just say a few nice things about it?
Mr. Clerk, or
Yes.
Mr. Chair, if I could have the floor. Thank you, colleagues, for your confidence. This is the second term that I have been elected as Vice Chair of Justice. It's one of the, in my view, it's one of the unique committees where there is generally a a cross-floor level of collaboration. It's highly respectful. We're all highly educated within our chosen fields, and I look forward to that continued dialogue and cooperation moving forward.
Thank you.
Très bien, merci. Thank you, Mr. Rock. Mr. Chair, maintenant,
And now, pursuant to Standing Order 106.2 again, the second vice chair must be a member of an opposition party other than the official opposition. So I'm now prepared to receive motions for the second vice chair. Ms. Natanzio. Thank you, Chair. So I would like to nominate Mr. Fortin, the MP opposite me. I've already worked with him on another committee, and I can assure you that he's very collaborative and will no doubt support our chair and will certainly contribute to the success of this committee's work. So, Mr. Réal Fortin.
Si c'est un autre parti de
If it's another opposition party, I think just by default, well, the procedure, I can't brag about winning this election. So it has been moved by Ms. Natanzio that Mr. Éloi Fortin be the second vice chair of the committee. Is the motion adopted? Thank you. So, Mr. Fortin, you have been duly elected second vice chair of the committee. Congratulations. Thank you. And as Larry was saying, I also want to thank everyone for their confidence in me, even though, as I was saying, I didn't have a lot of competition. But for me, it's my third mandate here as vice president at the Justice Committee. And as I said earlier, I think that as long as we speak to each other respectfully, we can further our ideas, and it's in the best interest of everyone. And I can assure you that you will always have my collaboration and frank and respectful discussions. Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Fortin and MP Brock. If I understand, you'll have to leave us in 15 minutes, and MP Andréane Larouche, who's behind you, will replace you very soon, just so the committee can know. You won't lose anything in quality. Andréane is a very attentive collaborator. Thank you very much, and we'll see each other at the next meeting. Great.
Just a couple of rules of order before we get into the sole order of business today. Just to Larry's point, just wait until I recognize you before, by name before speaking. Comments should be addressed, obviously, through the chair. Things can get heated, but as Larry has said, this has generally been a respectful committee. But there may be times where things will need to get a little under better control. But obviously, we'll be a little more casual. But out of respect for your colleagues, just please make sure that I recognize you before speaking. For
the parliamentarians in the room, I invite you to raise your hand if you wish to speak. And for the MPs who are with us on Zoom, none of them are here today, I would like you to use the hand raised.
On this point, I would go to the sole order of business today, which deals with the routine motions that deal with our internal governance. The committee clerk has circulated a list a couple days ago. If not, you should, I think, have a draft of the routine motions that I believe all committees are seized of in the same substance and form. Et donc, avec l'accord du comité, nous pourrions...
And so with the agreement of the committee, we could study the routine motions.
We can now proceed to the examining of these orders, these motions that are indeed very routine. Clerk, how do you want to do this? I understand we're not adopting in block, but we're going.
It can be done both ways, one by one or all in total. It might be better to go one by one just to make sure that everyone has everything in hand. But it's all up to the committee to decide if someone can.
MP Brock.
I'd like the approach the clerk has suggested, Mr. Chair, but I think for expediency purposes, we've all had an opportunity of reviewing in some detail the content of the routine motions. So for this purpose, perhaps just identifying the section head and then indicating whether or not there's approval to pass that, as opposed to reading out the full text.
Team's good with that? Hearing no objections, let's convene to do it that way. So the first one that we jump to is should be under the third square that you have, which is the use and retention of analyst services. En français, les services, la rétention de services d'analystes pour les fins.
Use and retention of analyst services for the committee's work.
If anyone wants to know who the analysts are, they're in the back. They may join us here, but oh, there they are. I think please stand up. We'll be working with them. Are they going to join us, clerk?
Yes.
Okay, you might as well join us unless no one seems to have objected. So that motion is hearing no objections carried. Thank you and welcome. La deuxième motion de régie interne.
The second routine motion deals with the subcommittee on agenda and procedure.
Deals with the subcommittee on agenda and procedure, through which we will be determining the agenda of the meeting. So any points, comments, objections, please state so now.
The only point, Mr. Chair, would we be wanting at this juncture to identify the composition of that subcommittee at this point, or do you wish to, as the narrative indicates, wait till we get official direction from each party's whip?
Yeah.
The latter?
I think particularly given there are some new members that may have some thoughts or may want to contribute in a more meaningful way, let's just wait for that point.
Okay.
So hearing no objection, that motion is hereby adopted. Next motion, prochaine motion, the meeting without a quorum, les réunions sans quorum. All heads seem to be nodding, so hearing no objections, that motion is carried. Le prochain item, très.
The next point is very important for the solidarity of our group. It deals with eventual travel.
Important travel that the committee may be seized of. Any objections, views, points on that? Please state so now. No. Motion carried. Next motion, more procedural, the time allotted for opening remarks and questioning of witnesses. Le temps alloué pour les déclarations d'ouverture.
Time for opening remarks and questioning of witnesses.
No objections. Motion carried. Next point on document distribution. Prochain point sur les motions sur la distribution.
A motion on document distribution.
Aucune objection.
No objections. It's adopted.
Another important point on group solidarity and potential hangriness, working meals and les repas de travail. You made that point earlier, James, so assuming and hearing no objections on that point, motion carried. Travel accommodation and living expenses of witnesses, frais de déplacement et de séjour de témoins.
Travel accommodation and living expenses of witnesses. Any objections?
Prochain point, prochain item, prochaine motion.
Next point, access to in-camera meetings.
No objections, motion carried. And the final, oh, no, this isn't the final one. We've got a couple more. Pardon me. Transcripts of in-camera meetings, transcription de réunions à huis clos.
Transcripts of in-camera meetings.
No objections, motion carried. Les avis de motion, notices of motion.
Notice of motion.
No objections, motion carried. Le prochain item,
The next point, the orders of reference from the House respecting bills.
reference from the House respecting bills. No objections, motion carried. Prochaine motion, essai technique.
Next motion, technical tests for witnesses.
Subject matter of the next motion. No objections. Motion's carried. Next routine motion, whips, access to digital binders, accès au cartable numérique pour les whips. Aucune objection.
Whips access to digital binders, no objection.
Et finalement, le maintien de l'ordre et du décorum, maintenance of...
And finally, maintenance of order and decorum,
Aucune objection. Merci.
no objections. Thank you. It's adopted.
Friends, there are no other formal orders of business to this meeting. Mr. Maloney.
Suggest, since there are no other orders of business, that I move to adjourn.
MP Brock. MP Brock.
Motion, I wish to table drop.
Well, don't we have to vote on my motion first?
Yep, well, we should have a look at it. We'll have a look
Yep.
at it, but
Yep.
yeah.
It can be sent to you momentarily by in
On the
both
same
official languages. And do we have copies?
It's just been sent to you as well, clerk.
So, it needs 40 hours.
And Mr. Chair, I'd like to be recognized as the first speaker, please. Both our hands are up at the same time.
No, I recognized Mr. Maloney first, yeah. What's that? We do have a motion to adjourn. That is the first motion of business. If that does carry by the will of the committee, that we will so be adjourned, and we do have to dispose with that first. MP Maloney.
Would I be allowed just to mention something in respect to my motion? Look, and this is picking up on Mr. Brock's point earlier. We always have worked with a collaborative spirit at this committee. We're not in committee business at this stage. We've struck a subcommittee whose responsibility it will be to initiate whatever studies we're going to do, Mr. Brock. I would think that I appreciate you tabling this motion. None of us have had an opportunity to consider it. I think it would be appropriate to adjourn, and then we can consider this at another date.
Speaking on this motion, yep.
On this motion. Mr. Chair, it's probably going to be no secret to yourself or Mr. Maloney, or in fact the entire Liberal membership at this committee, that we'll be opposed to adjourning this matter for a number of reasons. It will come to a vote. But I think it would be important for me to establish why we are objecting to this. And I appreciate what Mr. Maloney is saying, that we can pick this up in the fall as another motion, and perhaps add to it or speak to this in due course. But Canadians sent us back to work, and it has been a significant period of time since going back to the 44th Parliament, where we broke in mid-December for our winter break, only to find that Justin Trudeau decided to resign as leader of the Liberal Party and plunge the country into proroguement. This wasn't the will of the majority of parliamentarians. We expected to come back at the end of January and continue our work. But because of that procedural move, which I would say, in my humble opinion, was extremely selfish, and it was only to advance the interests of the Liberal Party of Canada and its members in Parliament, we had to go through a leadership race. We are then plunged into a general election, which we all anticipated would probably happen after the new Prime Minister was selected as the leader of the Liberal Party of Canada. And we waited, after the election, we waited another month before we finally returned to Parliament. And I appreciate that the circumstances and the issues surrounding the election were such that there were certain priorities given to the Liberal mandate, which is now being argued and debated in the House of Commons. But throughout this entire process, Mr. Chair, and I would dare say backing up for at least 3 years, there has been a prevailing movement right across this country to have the federal government finally address some weaknesses in our criminal justice system, but in particular bail reform. And it wasn't just opposition MPs who voiced objection. As we all know, and as this country has known, there has been a ground swelling of support for change. We've heard from premiers of provinces, premiers of territories. We've heard from police chiefs from across this country. We've heard from presidents of police associations. We've heard from
Point of
legal
order,
groups.
Mr. Chair. Well, Mr. Brock, I don't want to interrupt, and you know my, based on my past behavior, I'd like to let you have the floor, but
What's the point of
there's a
order?
motion on the floor to adjourn. It's not
Right.
subject to debate. The submissions you're making now, with all due respect, pertain to the motion you've dropped on us today. I think we vote on the motion to adjourn. Depending on the outcome, we proceed from there.
Do you have a lot more, MP Brock? Yeah, I know your colleagues Gill and Lawton want to speak
Yeah,
as well.
I have a little bit more, but not much.
Okay, let's try to be brief.
Yeah, I'll be brief. This is an issue that we all heard on the doorsteps when we were canvassing. This is an issue that is not going away, and simply pushing this on the back burner because the chair recognized Mr. Maloney over myself. We both had our hands up at the same time. I simply can't advance my particular motion until I'm recognized by the chair. I exercise the appropriate procedure. And I think Canadians don't expect us to delay and punt this issue further down that proverbial football field. It needs to be addressed today. And that is why I will proudly not support Mr. Maloney's bid to adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. MP Gill.
Mr. Chair. I also want to touch base on the issue of crime. We all know that we have gone through the election here recently, and what I have heard from the people at the doors is completely different. They are really scared, and Canadians are increasingly worried about their safety. Whether it's break-ins, car thefts, gang violence, or drug trafficking, people are feeling the effects of failed Liberal policies every single day. Even in Brampton, families are living with fear that crime is no longer the exception. It's becoming the norm, and they are facing every single day. This is not just perception. In 2023, I would like to bring some data here. Auto theft claims hit 1.5 billion nationwide, a staggering 254 increase since 2018. Ontario alone saw vehicle thefts skyrocket by 48% in just 2 years. There's tens of thousands of cars stolen annually. It's from the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Firearm-related violence also surged to its highest level on record. With nearly 14,000 violent gun incidents across Canada, communities in Ontario, New Brunswick, and BC were hit hardest. That's from the Statistics Canada. Gang violence is out of control. In 2023, almost a quarter of all homicides were gang-related. Even more alarming, 31% of homicide suspects were under the age of 18. That's nearly double the previous year's rate. That's also from Statistics Canada. In Peel Region, police made the largest drug bust in their history.
Point of order.
But 6 of 9 accused dealers were already out on bail. In another operation targeting an extortion ring, half of those were...
MP Gill, just let me interrupt you. There's a point of order.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Gill, I don't mean to interrupt you in your speech, but it seems very clear to me that you are speaking to the substance of this motion, which I'm sure you will have the opportunity to do so. I just want to bring back the point that there's this motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair, and so I think it would be opportune at this point to vote on that motion, and if it does not pass, then we'll entertain all representations and all points of views with regards to the substance of the motion. So I want to just reiterate that I'm calling the vote to adjourn. It seems to me that we're discussing the merits of the motion, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
I appreciate my friend's suggestion. Nonetheless, you have to look at the substance of the motion itself in order to ascertain the urgency, which is the point that's being stressed by the opposition members here. We can't discuss the motion to adjourn and potentially the need to adjourn without addressing some of the substance in the opposition motion. So I appreciate my friend's position, but I think Mr. Gill has the floor. Would be very grateful to be able to conclude each of us briefly.
Typically, as members well know, these motions to adjourn go immediately to a vote. I've allowed some leniency in the spirit of a new committee being met, hopefully with the spirit that Mr. Brock represented as Vice President when he got elected. I have allowed some leniency. This will go to a vote very shortly, but I would like Mr. Lawton and this is back to Maloney to be able to speak briefly if they have a point that is pertinent to the motion and not Mr. Brock's motion.
Okay. So I will...
No, it's over to Mr. Lawton now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the Liberals' belief that adjournment should take place immediately, I am new to the House of Commons, and I was elected, as were all of us on the Conservative side, in large part due to our desire to have safer streets in this country and our desire to get serious about bail. And the number of people that brought up the urgency to them and to their communities on the crime situation was absolutely staggering. Now, look, I accept that the Liberals won this election. The Conservatives had argued that members of Parliament should sit through the summer because all of these issues that are facing our country are still here regardless of the outcome of the election. And I do not think it would be opportune for any of us, including my Liberal colleagues, to pack up this committee's work for 3 months without having done a single thing to help the crime-riddled communities of our country. And I speak on behalf of my own constituents in Elgin, St. Thomas, London South, but all Canadians. So I think adjournment is entirely inappropriate when we have Canadians that have elected us to get serious about this. And I actually don't think any of these members want to face their own constituents over the next 2.5 months and say that I chose to not even listen, not even debate a motion about some of these issues because I thought it was easier to start my summer vacation early.
Thank you, Mr. MP Lawton. Madame Larouche sur le point d'ordre, and then back to Mr. Maloney.
Actually, I just want to say that usually there's 48 hours before debating a motion. Are we on committee business right now at this point? No. We have just adopted the specific motion to expect that people wait for a 48-hour period before proposing a motion, like the one that Mr. Brock presented. So that's a very good point. We will soon be passing to the vote, and people can vote accordingly.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. We're experiencing early onset grandstanding, I see. Look, this is a procedural motion. We vote to adjourn or not to adjourn. And I welcome the new members. There's a process in place for getting motions on the floor and having an opportunity to debate. But following the procedure, which both of you will respect, the process is to vote once a motion to adjourn
Point of order.
is made, and then we can move on. So I call the vote, Chair.
Briefly, if it's material.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that member made an argument alongside his motion to adjourn. He followed the introduction of the motion immediately by an argument for why he thought adjournment was inappropriate. So he was the one that started debate on this motion, Mr. Chair, and I think it is entirely appropriate for us to respond to those arguments.
And again, the responses are well noted. We will now go to the vote. Everyone we're going to, Mr. Barber, we're going to the vote. All those have had the opportunity to read the motion. All those in favor say yay. Adjourn. All those against? Motion carried. The meeting is now adjourned.